Alright, today, or tonight really, we've got a bit of a different thing. We're going to be changing out, and I've just got this in the mail the other day, going to be changing out the case and LCD for a Game Boy Advance SP. So I've gone and purchased this online from AliExpress. If it works out, good. It wasn't that expensive. I can also put a link for the actual part that I bought if everything works out. But this is meant to be a full case mod, no cut required for what they would call an IPS LCD. So this one's already got the glass faceplate sort of thing mounted. The only thing I need to do is wire everything in and solder a single wire. But I don't see any instructions to tell me where I need to put that wire. So we'll have to have a look at that. This is the case itself. This is the LCD. Not quite sure which way we'll go about actually installing it, but I've got the Game Boy here as well, so this one has seen better days. This one actually had what appeared to be a faulty LCD, but it was just a faulty polarizer. So we can see I've repaired it as well. Actually, you can see it turns back on. This is one that I've repaired out of off camera, and essentially what it was the battery connector itself had popped off. Someone had tugged on it a little bit too hard and destroyed it. So it wasn't just a little bit mangled; it was completely off. Handy if I had my tools available. So outside casings for this have just normal tri wing screws. So I've got my Y shape for 2mm, which I believe is the right piece. So we can unscrew these, pop them aside. I'm not sure if I'm going to need them, because sometimes these case mods, they actually come with the screws already. Sometimes they don't. So we'll have a look and see exactly what's required. But this is the perfect Game Boy Advance SP to actually do this case swap on, considering that case is a bit mangled. The screen is definitely not in a usable condition. So that's the battery cover. That one had a Phillips screw head. And then this is a brand new battery that I've already put in there. Purchased and put it in. We can put that aside. We will need that later. And there is another tri-wing screw here, which I've got with me here. Yep. So loosen all that. So what I'm going to do, and this is pretty good practice once all the screws are out, is to actually put some pressure on the battery connector. So you can see the battery connector in there. So this little chunk of black, see if that can be visible. Yeah, so this chunk of black here, I'm going to push down while I lift the case up, because I've had instances of where you haven't done that and then the battery connector wants to come up with the case, and you don't want that to happen. So I'm going to put a little bit of pressure, just going to rest my screwdriver on there as I try and lift the case up, and that's it. You can see that separated nicely. We move it over. We won't really need the back of this. I think we might need this part here, this little set screw. So that sits in a little groove, and that's what the battery cover screws into. So that one usually pops out by itself. And again, I'm not sure if I need to keep these switches. Actually, I don't. So you can see it comes with the switches, the buttons. Oh, it already comes with the set screws. It's got the set screws. It's actually got a full screw kit there as well. So I can actually put all this in one place. But we can see here now with what I had to repair on the battery connector. 3 of those screws, and then we can also take the power switch connector or the volume switch, one of the two. You can lift it up from the center really. So we just want to make sure that on the underside of this, which has a little ribbon cable connecting the top LCD screen. Okay, so you can just use a screwdriver or a pair of very fine pliers. Grab the plastic bits out, and there's some switching tabs there that you can pop off. So just push them up, right? Make sure they're both up, and then the LCD ribbon cable should just slide out. So that can now go to the side, and I've got the board here. So the board itself is working fine. I'm just going to be careful not to mess around too much with the battery connector. Like I said, that is damaged. So I don't want to mess with that and break it off. That wouldn't be good. So now we can try and get the new case ready. Let's see how this opens. Keep getting stuff stuck to me. Ah, there's a bit of tape there. Gotcha. Yeah. Be a little careful. Don't want to scratch anything. Oh, something I will need is the hinge. Yes. So this one doesn't actually come with the little hinge part. That you have to grab out of the old one and then slot it into the new one. So this one's all pre-done like this. Nice, nice, nice. Little pieces out. Move them a little bit to the side. Oh, battery cover already came off. My goodness. What a mess. Let me get the hinge out. The hinge for this is on the inside. So we can actually take that out by unscrewing the top section. So many little plastic pieces and stuff. Yeah. Move that all away. And look, you get a nice little new sticker for the new case as well. So these ones are tri-wing as well. So we've got the Y. Looks like I will have to mess with this and take the screen off. So these normally have little rubber feet. Someone's already been in here and taken them out. So they have little tiny rubber feet like this that you can just pull out with a pick or with a fine-headed tweezer. So then should be able to take the back off. Done that all correctly? Yep. Beautiful. And then that's the hinge that we need. And then we more likely have to take this part off here. So I'm thinking that there's actually going to be 2 hinges in this case. So that's done like that. If I lift this up, there's a hidden screw under the ribbon cable, which is a Phillips. This is my first time doing a complete disassembly and first time doing a mod. So a bit of time and patience is required. Almost lost the screw. Get off of it. Come on, there we go. Alright, you unscrew that part and then this little hinge cover comes off, and there are 2 hinge pieces. Yes, there are. Alright. So I will have to worry about that Then I actually remove the screen, just so I don't have to worry about breaking that even further, because the screen itself, apart from a couple little sections of bleeding, is actually going to still work fine as long as I replace that polarizer. Oh goodness. There we go. There we go. And that's the hinges out. Bring the new case over. Kind of matches. At least I think it matches. Can't see colours very well. So, nice feature about this case, I'll do a quick rundown on this as we're going along as well, is it actually already includes the set-in screw here for the battery. So that's not something you have to do. It actually has the circlip already there, so you don't lose that screw. It's very nice. Finish is very good. The color is amazing. There's no rough edges so far. Nothing really on here that tells me I've bought a very cheap or subpar case. Like all the moldings, all the text. I don't know if you can see that actually. There's like the little tiny text here saying 12 volt, 5.2 volt in, extension 2, extension 1, the battery symbol, everything. Like everything there's like really well done. I'm just hoping that the inside is just as good. You see we've got the power switch here. Beautiful. And no volume switch, volume knob, because that's already on the main board. Alright, so let's test the LCD. Probably the most important part. Probably should have started with this first to make sure it's actually going to work and be a viable option for us. Alright. So we can see we got a piece of card or maybe double-sided tape, I don't know. We got the main board for the LCD. We've got a single wire to weld, which I believe I need to weld here, and then there's somewhere else on the board. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know where. We've got a piece of foam, that's the insulating foam that will protect it. This has a film on it, fantastic. It's actually really well done. And attach this insulating film, so insulating film and foam, something already. That ribbon doesn't seem great. It's got quite a lot of creases and folds in it. I'm sure it'll be fine. Let us double check anyways, to make sure that is the case. So if we got the screen, this is already very sticky. I don't want to stick to it already. So the screen will go, and you've got this tiny little clip here, the ribbon connector, and we're gonna connect those two together. Oh, it just required a little bit of extra force. I wasn't really comfortable with forcing it too much. But now be careful. Pop that down like that. That's how it was. We can pop that connector out a little bit more. Slide that in. I don't need to really push down on it, but what I'll do is I'll get the battery. Go like that. Oh, there it goes. Beautiful. Look at that. That is very bright, very nice. Extremely clean. Wow. That is really well done. I think I need to get that hinge on first. I need the two little groove end pieces because they actually slot in from what I've seen. Oh, there is a Nintendo little symbol. Oh, pretty. So, ooh, these are very rough cut. I mean, they are tiny little pieces though, but you can see they're rough cutting. And again, those have little tiny grooves that they follow. Same with this. This one's a lot worse. Man, this one looks like it's like missing a chunk of something. Yeah. Wow. The other ones actually have two separate inner grooves. So the official ones seem to have a little inner piece, whereas these cheap refurbished ones, you can see they actually have none of that. So I don't know what holds them in. Maybe a bit of magic, willpower. It seems to slot in alright though. You push hard enough. Yep, so that's those two pieces on. Let's see if this is gonna work. That's in. And then. Okay. That's in. That's working how it should. For now. For now. Left and right hinges, and then try to push it in. And it clips in at the end. And now, pop, pop. Yes. Beautiful. It's working great. What we want then is the screen in. I need that wire soldered, but I'll do it later because I have to thread it through this tiny little slit here. Yeah, I'm fairly certain you've got to roll it. I just don't know which way. I'm assuming like this. Roll it like that. Just poke it through. We're gonna use the tweezers. So you see I've just rolled it up. It's very hard to try and keep things in frame for the camera while also doing the work. We just push that through and then pull it very slightly. So we're like this at the moment. We need to connect the back of the board. So we need to do that, and there's also this piece. So this piece goes like this. Screws in from the bottom with one of the screws. Yeah, we'll assume it's for that. Don't over tighten it, because you can damage those threads very easily on the cheaper components. And then you bug it for good. And then we can just put that padding down like this. Put this on like this. So now that the screen is in place, if I open this up, oh yeah, no, that's perfect. Look at that, it's all nice lined up and everything. Yeah, I've just got fingerprints everywhere, but that is very, very center. Okay. These are very hard to screw in. I'm not sure if that's an issue with me or the screw holes. Anyways, that's all I'm doing for now, just so I can keep that in place. Because I still have to worry about this little ribbon cable. Not ribbon cable, this little wire, which I've got no idea what I'm meant to do with. But either way, I'm going to turn on my soldering iron, which is that button there. I've got my flux. Not flux, I don't need flux. I've got my tin, which I will use once it's hot enough. And we will just tin that wire, tip a bit. Okay. And then very, very gently, I'm just going to put some on here. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just literally putting a little tiny bit on there, and then I can also heat this up, heat the wire up, and stick the two together. Now you don't want to do it for too long because otherwise you risk melting the ribbon cable. That's on for now. I might be able to fix it later if I need to, but it seems to be on. Alright. Nice and on. I'm gonna have to, hold that out a bit while I get the main board now, because that will have to go how? That goes this way. All of them are there. That's gonna go like that. The speaker. Do not forget the speaker. That goes in like that. Okay. Because those, sorry, other way around. The two gold contacts on the speaker are actually surface touching or like pressure touching these two contacts here. And that's what gives it its power and data to say what noise to actually play out. I need to figure out where this bloomin' thing needs to go. Where this light wire goes. That one. Alright, I found it. Yep, I found it. I know which pad it is. So, I'm not sure if you guys saw what I was trying to do there. Maybe my head was in the way. But essentially I just was touching it to different sides of the capacitors and pads just to see, holding it in one place and then moving it, would it allow the screen to dim as I press the button. And it seems that it is on the Q128 pad. Q128. And then the pad that I'm connected to here is Q128. So you got the light on circuit here. These pads seem to control brightness of the screen as it gets tapped. It's like if I was hitting the wire onto this component, I think it's a diode, it was actually turning the light like gradually as I went tap, 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 but we wanted it to work through the button. So the component or pad here is actually what controlled that. So once I attached it to there, and then I could hit the brightness level button, and then it worked. So Q128 is about to get some fresh solder. I'm gonna put this on the very tip. Try to put as much as I can on the tip, and then touch the pad. Very gently. Put a little bit of solder on there, don't touch anything else. Alright. And then this wire, I can solder to it and I can try and route it around internally. But essentially, again, I'm swapping hands here because I can't hold things in my left hand that are very fragile. You can't see anything there though now. You know what? Go like this. Then that's good. I need to get rid of some of this excess solder though. Beautiful. Because otherwise I'm going to touch a different component and I'm going to short something else out that I don't want to. Wait for that to dry. There we go. That's it. That's wired in place. That's really all I needed to do. And then we finally can put this back in, the ribbon cable. So, I need to route this little cable around and away from the other components, otherwise I risk the case not closing all the way. So I've got that cable routed this way, but I need to position it somewhere else. But let me test that it's actually working first. So battery in. Oops. Game Boy on. Look at that. Yeah. There we go. And brightness works. There we go. Look at that. 5 brightness levels, all of them working. Close enough. Okay, so the hinge works how it should. It's got a nice little detent, little snap action. Seems to be holding in place. And let's test out a game. Got Donkey Kong Land, Land 3. Pop that in, it sticks out a lot. This isn't a color game, so it might look a bit weird, but there we go. Oop. Have the audio up. There we go, audio works. Brightness level works, which is fantastic. There we go, look at that. Wow, that is insane how much brighter that is. Either way, that's done. That's it. I wish I had a better game to test it on though. I'll see if I can get some another time, but I'm actually really happy with that. So we can take that game out. And yeah. So another good feature about this one, I'm not sure if it's actually going to happen now, but it's actually a glow in the dark. The whole case is actually meant to glow in the dark, but it's a bit too light in here, and this has only just come out of a box from China today, so not surprised that it's not. But I think that's about it, is it? I've got to just finish buttoning it up a little bit. Put this Nintendo sticker on. Which way does it go? But this is the case it came out of. That's the original screen. You can see how buggered up that is. It's missing a couple pieces and all that, but yeah. Very scratched and beat up. Nintendo sticker faces towards me. I hope I don't get any copyright striked or something like this. Just peeling that off. Where did the sticker go as well? No, like this. Maybe like that. I don't know if that's going to be straight again though. I don't know if that's any better or worse. Slightly worse. It'll be right. I think they fit a lot better. I don't know why you'd go light blue casing and then dark blue accents. Like, it just makes sense. They might be. And there we go. Doesn't shut as nicely, but that could be just because of how I've mangled the hinges. But yeah, like, it is very nice. It is a very nice case. If I did another one, I'd be purchasing this from the same buyer, or same seller, sorry. I would definitely do that.